Are you stuck in the teens on the ACT and need to get into the 20s? Maybe your score is sitting around a 17, 18, 19, and you need to get into the 20s to get a certain scholarship, or maybe to get into some sort of college or something like that. I'm going to tell you the best tip today to jump from the teens to the 20s on the math section of the ACT. Hey guys, before I tell you that tip, I just want to let you know I'm the math professor, Kyle Martin, and this is the channel where we do math homework fast and accurately, or in this case, your ACT work. All right. Hey, also just a reminder, up here I'll put a link to a playlist that I've made for a bunch of ACT questions that I've done. I do 2 in each video. I time them. It's all less than 60 seconds because that's the average you get per question on the math section of the ACT. So go ahead and do this for me. Subscribe to this channel so you can get those resources and this tip here I'm going to give you here in just a second, and then also be sure to like this video. All right guys, number 1 tip that I can give you for the math section of the ACT is this chart. All right, these are actually your scores you get, right? You get between a 0 and a 36 back as your score for each section of the ACT. Then they compile it all together to give you an overall score. But for the math section, right, if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're probably, 19 or less, and you want to jump from the teens into the 20s. In order to do that, all you need to get, in order to get a 20 on the math section of the ACT, is a 27 out of the total 60 questions on that test. All right, now if you think about how the math section on the ACT is arranged, it's arranged from easiest questions to hardest, all right, give or take a little bit, right? It generally goes from easier ones to harder ones at the end. The easy ones, the first 30 or so, are your Algebra 1, your pre-algebra, your geometry questions, right? We've all taken those classes, and so we should be able to get most of those questions right. The way that the ACT kind of gets you is that it kind of tells you got to do 1 question per minute in order to finish, right? Which is true, but if you don't know how to do the hard ones, why even bother, right? Because over here, you're only getting 1 question, or 1 point, I guess, per question. So it doesn't matter if you miss some of the later ones that are really hard or some of the easy ones that are easy, right, in the beginning of it. So if you can focus on those first 30 questions, that's the tip. Focus on the first 30 questions, your easy type questions. If you can get all those right, the first 30, you are going to get a 21 on the ACT. Now, some of you would take that, right? But there's more. All right, sound like a salesperson here. There's more. And that more is that right now, if you get those first 30 right, that's assuming you leave the other 30 blank. We're not going to leave questions blank on the ACT. We're going to guess, right? You bubble B, 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 all the way down, or C, or whatever letter you have been told to guess, right? And so when you do that, you have a 1 in 5 chance. There's 5 answers per question. So 1 in 5 chance of those other 30 questions. Well, if you get a perfect, 1 out of 5 chance of guessing those correctly, that's another 6 questions that you probably got right. So again, that's 30. Let's maybe subtract a couple. We probably didn't get them all right. We're not perfect, but 30, and then plus, let's say 28, I guess, plus another 6 or 5 or 6, right? That gets us to a 33, which gets us to a 23 out of that 36 possible points on the math section of the ACT. Okay, so take your time, do the first 30 as well as you can. Don't even worry about the back half, all right? And then if you have time to do it, that's great, that's bonus, okay? And then make sure you don't leave them blank though, bubble them down, and you're probably gonna get around a 23 on the math section of the ACT. All right, so if this tip helped you, please do 2 things for me. 1, go ahead and like this video down below, and then 2, subscribe to this channel. And remember, I have that playlist down below in the description for more math concepts that we can go over. I do 2 questions per video. Click on that playlist, watch those. All right, I think they're going to be helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next one.